All right, y'all, 5:05 Leland Live. Let's keep going. One more hour to go here on this Wednesday. It has been kind of a weird, crazy news day. A lot of development since we got started. Let me take y'all all the way back to the top. I've been starting with the weather. Y'all know when we got inclement weather, I'll always at least give that a mention at the top. So Friday night into Saturday could be a big old hailstorm coming through. You know you were warned. Do whatever you got to do. I hope it doesn't develop. I can't stand the thought of a hailstorm, but I am going to put some things underneath some things just in case. And again, that's Friday into Saturday. Then we've got another round potentially on Monday, and they're including a tornado possibility in that forecast. We don't. It's not a probability; it's just a possibility, and they'll refine that as we get toward the weekend. So just be weather aware. We're still in spring storm season. The good news between all those forecasts is that we could get, depending on where you are, 3 to maybe 4 or 5 inches of rain in some spots over the next several days. And man, do we need it. It's been super dry, big drought conditions, and we're not even that bad compared to our neighbors to the south down in the panhandle over in Georgia, where they've still got homes burning down and just nightmare video coming out of there over in Baxley, Georgia, and that county down in southeast Georgia. So prayers up for those folks and the folks out there trying to fight those fires in the middle of a extreme drought in that part of the country. So maybe this will be a drought buster. We definitely need the rain, but it comes with storms, and just be aware of that. We'll keep you updated as the week goes on. Allen and Company bringing you the show tonight. That is, of course, Thompson family and those wonderful people over at Allen and Company. Just think the world of this family. Gotten to know them over the years. Bought a lot of personal things there, and we got a little repair I got to run by. You know, they're good like that. If you've got a piece that, chains break, stones go missing, stuff happens. Sometimes you need a resizing. They'll handle all of it. And Alan always says, look, all the stuff you bring to me stays in my vault. We do the work, get it right back to you. He tries to turn everything around. I guess if you give him something complicated, like he's got to go track down some stones and get them sent in, it may take longer, but most of the stuff they do, they try to turn around within a business week, which is really good news. Y'all go see them, make them your personal jeweler. Look at all the one of a kind pieces in there, or design something for yourself. They can do anything. Alan can design anything that y'all can dream up and draw out, and you'll have a personal asset in the world of fine jewelry and get to know a great family. The Thompsons at Allen and Company. They're in Vestavia on that big drag, that main drag, that big hill in Vestavia. Allen and Company. All right, let's keep on digging in. Let me go back to the Virginia thing that kind of has taken precedent over the Iran updates, because we haven't had a whole lot since the show started today in terms of new developments, other than Trump says, the Trump administration says the Iranians agreed not to kill those women that they were going to execute for protesting. A lot of folks saw that as an olive branch or a significant sign that potentially there is somebody in that government talking more directly to the Trump administration. The markets went up this afternoon. I said it earlier, we've kind of priced in all the disruption. Markets are setting records. The Dow's close to its old record within just a few hundred points. A few good days, and it's back to record-setting territory. The oil price did not spike the way the Iranians wanted it to. They wanted $150 oil and $200 oil. That's doomsday scenario, crisis in the world, shortages, American freak out, and they get control. Man, it's 92. We can handle that. Sucks for us right now, but we can sweat them, and they can't. Their economy's collapsing. It's dying right in front of them. And so this blockade, at this point, maybe the most effective thing to see if we can get these maniacs to the table. Who knows? And even if you get them to the table, what are they going to do? Inside reports are that the IRGC commanders are fighting with the spiritual leaders, and some of those spiritual leaders may have been arrested. They're in deep disagreement on how to handle the end of that regime, and that's good news too. We need to let them fight it out on the ground and decide what's going on, and this pressure we're putting on may be the most effective thing. If we go blowing up bridges and power plants and civilian infrastructure and people die on the ground, that's bad for us in the region and in that country. We want the people to be empowered. So there's a quick Iran update. Back to Virginia. So this pasty-faced troll of a CIA plant governor, am I being mean? Decided to ram through this absurd and insidious districting plan. Uh, a lot of folks believe that the whole outcome was suspicious last night, but we can get into that on another date. Virginia still has the capability of pulling some stunts at the polls with their rigged system, but no sooner the ink didn't even get dry on the numbers last night, and a local circuit court judge has slammed the door on the thing, at least for now. Now, this will get appealed, but immediately this judge declared the whole charade was unconstitutional and issued an injunction keeping them from implementing any new maps based on this vote count and that map plan. And until they can get the full order is being written, here's a quick final judgment order. I was looking through the actual verbiage to see how hard the judge hit them here. It says that they said that it is void because I'm reading directly from the ruling today that it violated the House Joint Resolution 428 and House Joint Resolution 6001, quote, and any action taken therein is invalid expansion of the General Assembly's call to the governor for the special session. So let me take a time out here. They weren't in a regular session. They called the special session for specific purposes and shoved this plan into it, and that may have been the poison pill from the beginning. Some would say, well, why didn't somebody sue before now? Why did they put them through a referendum? In some cases, you can't bring a lawsuit until there's damage. The election became the damage because they went through with the whole thing, thus disenfranchising their own citizens. It's pretty ballsy, pretty amazing that they're being this aggressive and stupid about it. You know, the Democrats spent tens of millions of dollars. I said it a couple of times on the show today. They're freaked out because they believe the Supreme Court, like a lot of court watchers believe, is about to slam the door on race-based districts in this country by removing that provision of the Voting Rights Act and not giving them the ability to go around and harass states over racial issues and draw discriminatory districts like they did here in Alabama and in other places. If they shut the door on that, if they invalidate that, the Democrats are going to be down anywhere from 10 to 14 districts that they automatically count on. I'm not saying that Republicans are going to win those districts. I'm saying the districts have to be withdrawn, and the Democrats can't herd all the black voters into districts and count on them to put them in office. And that messes up their business plan in a huge way. So they're running around trying to manipulate anything they can to get ahead of that. And I think that's why the desperation and the overreach in Virginia that seemed absurd to the rest of the country and was at best a 50-50 vote in that state. And now a judge has said, nope, hell to the no, to the no, no, no. What a good song. I had that as a ringtone one time. You remember that guy?
Yeah, Bishop Bullwinkle.
What does he say? The Church of the Undivided Truth. What does he call his church? The Church of the something truth.
Yeah,
he
I
says
can't
it in the
remember,
song at
yeah.
the beginning of the song. I don't want to steal that. Church of the Absolute Truth. I don't know. Anyway, they're saying there has not been a issuing general election of the House of Delegates, and the ensuing election that would take place to be able to do a map like this could not even take place till next year. So he's saying, one, it wasn't a proper format to put this on the ballot. Two, that they even couldn't do that on the timeline until next year after the midterms. And they said that the particular code section has not been complied with, that the votes on the proposed constitutional amendment were taken during the 2026 regular session of the General Assembly are ineffective as being a second vote of the General Assembly under there's a lot of legal provisions cited here that I can't possibly go back and research and pull up. So they have enjoined all the defendants and their successors from certifying the results. That'll immediately go to an appellate court. And as we've seen in modern times, depends on the political disposition of our courts. Isn't that embarrassing? That we live in a country now where, depending on the political makeup of the justices, do you get whatever form of justice you're seeking? I don't know. Is there a fair court left in the country? I mean, is there a fair panel of justices that are just that? Maybe one of the older panels that hadn't been polluted with these political activists and these judicial activists. But anyway, So that was huge news. They didn't even get time to gloat. They gloated for about 6 hours this morning, and now this thing is being hit with the huge challenges. Not to mention, Florida may nullify the whole thing next week in a special session. They have a different process by redrawing their maps and a potential pickup of 5 seats by the Republicans, completely wiping out the 4 seats that the Democrats just shoved through. What a mess. Distinctive Pools bringing you the show tonight. That's Gary Levesque's company, and what a company they are. If you're thinking about a pool project, build it right. I'm serious. Even if you don't use Distinctive, get a master pool builder to build your pool. Don't put a cheap um, corner cutting type inferior product on your home. It'll devalue your home. That's just real estate advice. And if you're going to do it right, do it with Gary Levesque and his team. He's been at it 40 years. You add up the combined experience, I think it's more than a century of pool building experience at that company, and they'll get it done right for you. The design will look good, the installation will be perfect. They've got finance plans, fair pricing and budgeting. Y'all get creative, draw something out, and by the way, add on the features that a lot of people are doing now with outdoor fireplaces and kitchens and pizza ovens and whatever, fire pits, waterfalls. They can do all that because they're also hardscape experts. It's distinctivepools.com, distinctivepools.com. Back in a minute. It's 520 Leland Live, talking 995. Huey Tampon, let's talk, man. You know what I love about Tommy? It's a pawn shop. They've been there forever. They've turned into a gun shop with all the great selection. And that's why they initially came on the show. And every now and then he gets these deals, man, and y'all go snap them up. It works for everybody. The Glock deals they get I love those AR-12s. I never did get to snag one. So listen up for those when we talk about Huey Tampon. But he threw something different at me the other day. He goes, "Man, I've got something your audience may want to know about." I said, "Tell me." And they've got these single axle Larimore trailers made here in Alabama, utility trailers, not enclosed, just pretty basic open trailer with a little ramp on the back. So handy, so efficient, especially if you don't have a lot of truck space. You need to move around a zero turn or 4x4 or side by side or any of these things. Maybe you just need to haul off some trash to the dump. It's so good to have a trailer. You ever seen people trying to shove a lawnmower into a minivan at the Home Depot or something? It's amazing. I see videos about that. It's like, how the hell do you think you're going to get that in there? I mean, nowadays, the way the size of TVs, I bought one recently because it was on sale. AJ, it almost didn't fit in the back of my truck. I could have used the trailer that night. These things are great, $14.99 and up, and they do offer financing at Huey Tampon. So while you're down there gun shopping, take a peek over. He's got them on the outside lot. You probably see them when you drive up. And check out these Alabama-built, solid, well-made utility trailers and pick one up and use it. You'll use it till the wheels fall off at Huey Tampon on Brook Lane Drive. Huey Tampon. Let's hit the phones again. Appreciate all the calls. Y'all have really been stepping it up lately. Thomas is over in Georgia. What do you know, Thomas?
Well, Neil Bortz's moniker was he was the the high priest of the Church of the Painful Truth.
That is it. Yes. Yeah. Neil was what did he also called himself? Oh man, insensitivity in classes or something like that.
There was something. I don't remember that, but you're right. He had a lot of titles for himself.
He'd say insensitivity training, and I used huge fan of that show.
Yeah, he still posts on Facebook every now and then, so he's still kicking. I know he retired from radio the day Obama swore in for a second term.
Is that when it was? I know he moved to Florida, and what is he? He's got like a airplane or a boat or something like that, and that's just what he's doing.
Airplane. He was a pilot.
Good for Neil.
Yeah, but I remember when Obama got reelected, he announced his retirement. That his last day will be the day of the inauguration.
I didn't even realize that. I know we bumped him off one time. They put us on a station he was on, and it pissed off some Neil Bortz fans until they warmed up to our show, and then it was okay. AJ. You remember that years ago?
I remember that.
And I hated it because I was also a fan myself when I wasn't before we started that. That's how we started the show. We bumped Neil Bortz and then some hippie station. You remember that, AJ? Some coffee shop. Mm-hmm. They had some coffee shop music on, and it wasn't selling anything. Those broke ass kids at the coffee shop, they don't buy advertising. So they decided to start a talk station on that frequency. And Murphy called me and said, "Yeah, I'd been filling in." I was like, "I'd love to do that on this." I thought it was a side gig, Thomas, and we got sucked into it, and here we are, still doing it.
There you go. You are a fine follow-up to Neil Bortz.
Oh, thank you, buddy. That's a bigger compliment than I deserve. Yeah, I grew up listening to him in the back of my dad's car going to the Atlanta airport. Anytime we'd be heading toward Atlanta, we'd be sitting there with the windows down, sticking to the seats. Y'all remember cars like that?
Oh, yeah.
My dad would be smoking a cigar, flicking ashes, and hit me in the face in the back seat.
Back and hit you in the feet.
Yep,
Yeah.
and then listening to Neil Bortz. I'm like, I want to listen to Prince. It's like, no, listen, son, you might learn something.
Might learn something. Yeah, I turned a lot of people on to talk radio that I used to work with, and they couldn't understand why I didn't want to listen to music. I said, man, you got to listen to this.
There you go.
After a while, I was all hooked on it. So,
well, it didn't hurt that all the music started sucking, so we just took over.
That too.
Yep.
And it still ain't got any better. Well, I take that back. There's a lot of good stuff out there because AJ plays some good bumper music.
Yeah, it's out there. You got to hunt for it, though.
You got to look for it.
Yep. All right, Thomas.
All right.
Appreciate you, buddy.
Have a wonderful day.
Y'all hold it down over there in Georgia. Man, I just saw this come in a little while ago, and it's been going on for a minute, so I pulled up my traffic map, and I think it's been in some of the reports. But the Mount Brook Police put an alert out a little while ago. I just came across it that the far right lane of 280 eastbound, which is outbound. I wish they'd just call 280 outbound or inbound because people aren't pulling up a compass. Anyway, it's right before Office Park. It's kind of there where everything kind of comes together and starts heading out of Mountain Brook. They've got a stalled vehicle. I think it's an overturned vehicle, and it is blocking everything. Everything is constipated as the Strait of Hormuz on 280 right now. You don't want to be in that traffic. AJ, how am I going to get home? That's my road. I got about 5 ways I can get home. I'm glad I saw that map before I got out of here.
That sucks.
It is showing red all the way down to the Grandview Hospital. Good Lord. So y'all look out for that. I just saved you some time if you haven't gotten stuck on 280 yet. Clarissa's next. What's up, Clarissa?
Hey, was doing some reading today, and I did not know that the Southern Poverty Law Center investigation was actually already underway. Y'all may have already talked about this during the Biden administration, and he had hit pause on that.
Yeah, because they were participants.
Yeah, I didn't know.
I mean, the FBI was working with these same groups. They were doing the same stagecraft. They were putting on a same front that somehow they were these extremist white boys hiding in the woods ready to overturn the government, and they didn't even exist. They were out there making stuff up so they could fundraise off of it and politically benefit from it.
Well, it's just crazy how we've gone from a Department of Justice that, was weaponized, wasting taxpayer money, and, now we have one that's strict on immigration, accountability, transparency, law and order, all the things. So, kudos to all those people over there that are doing that work. This is amazing.
I wonder how many Southern Poverty Law Center plants were in the January 6th event, too. Now I question everything.
That's really something to think about.
Sure. These people are complete charlatans and they didn't go out and commit. Well, I guess now you can say they sponsored real violence. A woman died in that Charlottesville rally that they helped support the organization of. So how are they any less a terror organization than anything else that we put on the terror list? Here's a group of people that made their living vilifying just normal mainstream political thought, and yet they were participating in stoking violence and unrest in our country themselves.
And I really don't even know how we measure, the depths of what all that Biden Department of Justice did, the damage that they did. We may never know.
Well, look at the fallout from Charlottesville. I mean, how the mileage and those sock puppets in the mainstream media that just gave it amplification for years without even questioning it. And then they would turn around and put these Southern Poverty Law Center bedwetters on their newscast like they were experts. They were fomenting the violence they claimed to oppose.
Well, like you guys have been saying all day today, I think the story's only going to get bigger. So
I do too.
We'll definitely keep an eye on it. Yeah.
I heard somebody say it. Thank you. I saw somebody say it earlier too. How many of these so-called Republicans that seem to be confusing everybody and seem to be thought leaders on the right, but are always squirrely and weird and are not legitimate? How many of them were getting funding from these same kind of groups too? I wonder how many of these podcasters that suddenly change their tune on everything to keep the messaging disrupted, to keep conservative thought from being effective. Southern Poverty Law Center tried to make Catholic people that were opposed to abortion into a terror group through the FBI. When the FBI put out their memo about Catholics, my Catholic friends need to be listening right now. They cited the Southern Poverty Law Center as the expert on that citation. George Clooney gave them $10 million after Charlottesville. They faked Charlottesville. I'll say it one more time because I got on a rant earlier, and I'm trying to keep myself cool right now because it's time to go home. But I'm going to tell you what a wonderful statement on race relations in this country when the groups that are constantly harping on the fact that we're some kind of violent racist country have to fake it. If they can't find actual racism, actual groups, actual subversion, any of these boogeymen they keep warning the country about, when they can't find them and they have to fake it and pay for it themselves, what a wonderful state on the state of America that it doesn't exist. Thank you, Southern Poverty Law Center, for exposing what we all already knew. Back in a minute. All right, y'all, 5:35. Let's keep on trucking. Here's Thomas over at Stockton Mortgage to get us updated on what they've got going on today. Thomas, what's happening, man?
Hey man, how are you doing this afternoon?
I'm doing quite well.
Man, we're making dreams realities again today, and hey, we just want to tell you a story about a lady that we closed a couple of years ago. She was actually a Leland listener. She was a teacher down in Shelby County, and hopefully she's listening today. But we closed her up. She was a first time home buyer, and back then, and we. At that point, she did 100% financing, and rate was a little bit higher because she had some because of the 100% financing. But we were able to get her in that house with no money down, and rates back then, as you know, man, rates were higher back then. And so today we just got her closed on we combined she did a first and a second mortgage on that 100%. The program that we did her on had a first mortgage and a small second mortgage. We combined those two mortgages together and put her on one loan and a much lower. She was in the high sevens interest rate because that's what the rates were back then. And now she is at about a 6.25% interest rate. And so it's saving her almost 1.5 points off of her interest rate and about $250 per month in mortgage payment, which is a huge savings. And that's in about she's not quite 2 years in on her mortgage. So that is a huge savings for her. And man, I want to say it is such a blessing to be able to do that and be able to save somebody that much money in just a short period of time. It's great because rates have come down. And, she's got a little bit of equity built up. She bought in a great area down in Shelby County. So, but man, that is something that we always take care of our clients, and we make sure that we follow up with them. And, we service the majority, about 90%, 95% of all the loans that we close. So we're constantly following up with all of our clients and tracking our loans. And when we know that we can save them some money, we're always on top of it to make sure that we can get back in touch with them and say, hey, it looks like now is the time to take a look at maybe refinancing or we can save you some money at this point. So give us a call today for us to take a look at your mortgage today, see if we can save you some money, 205-859-8859 or savewithstockton.com.
Savewithstockton.com. We appreciate you, Thomas. Thanks, man.
Yes, sir, man. All right.
All right, let's keep on going. I'll go to Danielle in Trustville. What's up, Danielle?
Hey, can you hear me?
I can.
I just wanted to mention about the Southern Poverty Law Firm. They were there. I know for a fact they were. My aunt and uncle were there, and my uncle was the Alabama chief of staff for the GOP for a long time. And his wife is a true Southern belle. She does not lie. She'll look you in the face, tell you the cold, hard truth.
Yep.
And she saw them bust in. She also saw Capitol Police move the fencing and let them into the Capitol. And they were all wearing the same thing, the khakis. They look like the feds with their face all covered up.
Yep.
But I just wanted to call in. It's my first time ever calling in. I wanted to verify, yeah, they were there.
Well, when you say they, you're talking about this phony Patriot Front group or whatever they are. Yeah.
The Southern Poverty Law Center, how they pay people to go out and create this havoc.
We don't know for sure whether the SPLC funded those groups that day. I'm wondering if there's documentation or any part of this investigation. We do know the whole thing was full of plants. FBI paid informants. They lowered the security profile. They opened the doors. They provoked the crowd. They wanted what they got. And so thanks, Danielle. I appreciate the anecdote, though. What she does bring up, though, when I just threw January 6th in there, when you recognize patterns, you should recognize patterns. Animals do it. Pattern recognition is part of survival. It's how you see things that are threatening or something that doesn't make sense. January 6th never made sense from the day it was happening. And so then we learned after all this evidence, the fake pipe bomb and the fake arrest over the pipe bomb and all the stuff they did that day was pure stagecraft. Here's where I'm going. if they began the Trump era with the stagecraft incident in Charlottesville, it's the same playbook on January 6th. It was the same playbook after George Floyd. It was the same playbook. I can keep going where this is called in the playbook, because I've read the playbook, these are called color revolutions. Y'all, our government does this in foreign countries. We did it in Ukraine to topple the Ukrainian government before a new government got installed, and then we wound up sending Hunter Biden over to steal money for the Bidens. Our CIA does this on the ground to topple governments all the time. You need civil unrest to create instability and then violent incidents to affect change. You need coordinated messaging, and it's all psyops. This was, at best, some people call them false flags, but Charlottesville was paid for and organized by a group that profited and lied. Look, let me take George Clooney. Great actor, by the way. I like his movies, but, a total leftard and an activist, and used to be an Obama bro. I think they've had a falling out. But again, he was credited with shoving Joe Biden aside by writing an op-ed about it and creating some sort of gave everybody the green light to turn on Biden. But back to Clooney. So Clooney gives him $10 million right after Charlottesville. So if I want to be fair to Clooney, even though he's politically active and he's very liberal, handsome man, by the way, totally talented. But he and his wife donated $10 million to the Southern Poverty Law Center. They were duped. I don't believe Clooney knew Charlottesville was fake, or maybe he did. I don't know. Maybe he was in on it. Maybe he knew what they were up to, because the Southern Poverty Law Center years ago ceased to be a race rights and civil rights organization and began to be an apparatus of the political left, doing hit jobs on moderate conservatives. Any voice that became effective in the public square, they would do a hit job on them, put them on a list, go on TV and talk about how dangerous these ideas were, simply because these people disagreed with liberals that also donate to the Southern Poverty Law Center. They used race and social division as a tool to keep us divided and to create intensity for political purposes, not for civil rights purposes. And so what the indictment alleged yesterday, and I do hope they can bear down on specific individuals, because they have the money trail probably through subpoenas to the Department of Treasury. But now that there's been an indictment, they'll have more ability to go in and toss the books at the SPLC and find out who authorized these decisions. Back to Clooney. Clooney was duped, and that's what the indictment alleges, that they lied to their donors, solicited money on behalf of an effort to put up a fight against extremist groups, but they were funding the extremist groups and their activity. As much as $3 million between 2014 and 2023. I personally believe it was with coordination of Richard Wray and probably Comey and those guys at the FBI and the Justice Department. I mean, we've already caught them colluding in every way possible to stage a damn coup in this country over what is now clearly known as absolute propaganda and a false operation on the Russian scandal. We found out last week that the Ukrainian phone call impeachment was also faked. The initial whistleblower wasn't a whistleblower. They set this guy up as a little patsy whistleblower in Adam Schiff's office. All that's on the record now. The House of Representatives is about to vote to expunge the impeachment, which they should. These people abused every level of power and money and operational effort they could to interdict the Trump administration since the day he came down the escalator. And that's all out in the open, and you can't believe anything you see. But here's the deal. If in a country that had a worthy, effective, and ethical media, all these news organizations that have been built for centuries, these newcomers, I mean, you wind up with the likes of Don Lemon on CNN. That shows you how far it's fallen. But in a country that had a curious, seriously seeking truth media, would have added this a long time ago. They would have spotted this fraud a long time ago. The rest of us had to just go on instinct And the minute you see these fools come out of the woods in Charlottesville with torches, you know that's not legit. That's not what anybody that you can think of would do. For one, conservatives don't organize that way. We don't dress the same like in a little group. That doesn't happen. These little beta males with the short haircuts and the khaki pants and the mask over their face, phony from day one. They'd pop up somewhere, get some media attention, they'd disappear. They'd bus them in all together. There's an infamous video of them getting off an escalator in D.C. It's an escalator I used to use all the time. It's on C Street. I recognized the minute they came up out of the escalator. Right there by the Capitol. Somebody tried to follow them, were disrupted. These were all just absolute optics and stagecraft. And the mainstream media jumped right on it and pretended it was legit and kept giving it volume until they made it legit, would make Joseph Goebbels blush with sheer reputation and the old adage about if you repeat a lie often enough, it becomes the truth. That's all they're doing. None of this is new. And color revolutions are something the CIA and our own government has been involved in doing. It's all about social division and destruction. And I promise you, one day we're going to find this out too. This whole transgender movement nonsense that originated during Obama's regime, same thing. Out of nowhere, suddenly we're dealing with this in society as if it's a mainstream issue. It was forced into society to divide. And we're still dealing with it. We're still having legislators having to pass legislation to keep boys off girls' teams and out of their locker rooms. That didn't exist. Where did that come from? It's social division. It's a tool, and we're being manipulated by it. Even us that think that we're self-righteously angry about the concept and are defending little girls, we're also being manipulated. You're being drawn into the political discussion because they want to anger you. They're trying to provoke. They want these incidents. They can't get them because our side doesn't do that stuff, so they have to fake it. So they paid for it, $3 million. I can't wait to see the rest of this one. This thing's got tentacles. They didn't just start doing this in 14. I guarantee it. Douglas Cooling and Heating bringing you the show tonight. Have you had your AC checked? I'm just asking. Time to do it. We're going to get these storms through here this weekend. And then, boy, that humidity's back. I don't know if I love my air conditioner in the summer just from the cool air, just getting the humidity and that dank air out of the house. It protects your furnishings. And so your system has to run efficiently for that to work. Y'all get Douglas over there and let them take care of you. They'll do you a cleanup, tune-up, put you on the registry, so to speak. If you sign up for their regular service package, they'll come out twice a year and take care of you. They got a great deal on that right now. And they're there for new installs if you need a replacement or an addition to your system. Mini split systems, I'm a huge fan of those. Quiet, efficient, save you on your bills. Just good folks. Jay and his team have been taking care of me for 17 years and about to come do a new install this summer on some additional cooling capacity that I need. And I trust them to do it right. It's Douglas Cooling and Heating. CallDouglas.com, C-A-L-L, CallDouglas.com. License number 2017181. And one more time for our friends at All American Metals, man, that same building where I put the mini split, they call them mini splits. I had to learn about them. Basically, you can put these things through any wall, and if you can get two pipes through a wall and electric service, you've got an air-conditioned room. So I use that for my home office that I built in my building, in my shop with all my stuff. I love it. Y'all see me do the show there from time to time. The other half of that story is I got a metal building, and I love it. People ask me about it all the time. Gary Palmer is going to come on with us to do a town hall on Friday, and he'll come over and visit me in that studio. And he's always asking me about my barn. I think he wants to build one too. I'm going to send him to All American Metals. Those guys, John and all those guys over there, they've been walking steel for generations back to the 1960s, and they know this business. It's in their bones. Their bones are made of steel, and they do from the beginning to the delivery. They've got control of that whole process, from the design work to producing the actual building themselves, bending the steel, making the frames, building your panels, all the products that go with it, the insulation, doors, windows, all that, packing it on their trucks. They don't even hire that out. They bring it to you themselves, to your site. All I know is my building went up quickly after I overcame some hurdles. This is much more seamless than the way I did it. And in the beginning, you need a good set of plans. They'll produce that for you too. So you can go get zoned and financed and all that stuff. It's All American Metals. Reach them online at aa-metal.com, aa-metal.com. It's 5:54 Leland Live, talking to NM5. Michelson Laser Vision bringing you the show tonight. Y'all go get checked. If you got glasses or contacts, just trust me on this. Find out if you're eligible and then decide. You ain't got to decide going in, you're going to do it. They're not going to pressure you, but they will check you for your health condition and whether they can fix your eyesight. And then from there, if you want to go through the education program of what's involved, the risk and the benefits, that's what convinced me. Again, it's not a sales pitch. It's just logic and how the system works and what they do when they do LASIK and how your eye heals. And that's what made me go, you know what? That makes sense. I'm not scared of it anymore. Let's do it. It was a wonderful decision. It freed my whole life. It's not an exaggeration to say it's life-changing. Trust them at Michelson Laser Vision. They've been around since the 1980s. Dr. Mark was a pioneer. Jennifer grew up alongside her dad and always wanted to do the same thing. She's Dr. Michelson now too, and you got a family practice that will be there in the long run to take care of you no matter what you need for your eyes. Michelson Laser Vision, downtown UAB Highlands. MichelsonLaserVision.com. Here's Sissy on a cell phone. What's up, Sissy?
Hey, I just wanted to tell a quick story about Neil Bortz.
Okay.
About, 30 years ago, when my mom listened to him religiously.
Yeah.
And I was like, what are you, fast forward, now I listen to your show. But anyway, he came out with a CD one year. And do you remember Royal?
Yes.
That was on the show.
Oh,
okay,
I loved him.
passed
I actually got to
away.
meet him a couple of times. Yeah.
Oh my gosh, so sad when he died. But anyway, on his CD, they did a clip of it was a news story about a guy named Boo who got shot.
No, it was Boo got shot. It was we've actually played that clip on the show. It was I think it was a cell phone.
You know what I'm talking about.
Yeah, I think it was a message somebody left on somebody's answering machine describing a shooting scene, and it was funny as hell. And Royal would break it down for the white people so they'd understand what they were saying.
The
You remember that, AJ?
that he did,
Who got
hilarious.
Yeah, I do remember that.
Royal did a whole translation of what had happened.
I know. Anyway, I just wanted to share that. It brought back some good memories of my mom and, easier times.
Thank you.
So,
Thank
anyway,
you, Sissy.
Y'all have a good night.
I hated that Sissy also triggered a bunch of millennials, but kids, we used to laugh about that kind of stuff back in the day. So do you remember Boo Got Shot, AJ?
I do remember that.
They
We
did a
played it.
song.
Mm-hmm.
Somebody did a song out of it. It was just funny as so this woman calls up just freaked out because Boo got shot. And she's describing the whole scene of what happened when Boo got shot. And she's doing it very frantically. And Royal slowed it down. By the way, Royal was African-American and explained to the white people what that was about. And that was the funniest. It was just a funny bit that they played over and over on that show back in I guess it was back in the 90s when they did that.
Yeah. It was actually pretty funny. It was pretty funny.
We had to, look, back then we laughed at ourselves. We just laughed at ourselves, at the human condition. There are things about all of us that are funny. And laughing, look, we were kids. We were a lot less tense. We weren't on social media getting whipped into a frenzy over fake false flag events and in the end of the world. We didn't worry. Hey, UFOs, our UFOs, AJ, were ET. It wasn't missing scientists. Times were just chill then. It was like ET phone home. Oh, that's so cute. Aliens. We had Alf. Of course, we did have a Sigourney Weaver. I forgot about that version.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. And then Spaceballs and all that good
yes.
stuff, too.
Hey, if y'all want to do some good between now and the end of the month, we've got about a week left on this promotion. Express Oil Change is giving $1 of every oil change that comes through Express to Children's Hospital. Man, help the babies and take care of your car at the same time. They're not just changing oil, they're changing lives at Express. And here's yet another local business that's just everywhere. They've grown over the years. Great locations all over, probably one near you right now. Whip in there and knock that out in 10 minutes and do some good for the babies at Children's Hospital and that whole team over there that saves lives all the time. Express Oil Change, y'all go see them. That's going to do it for us. We will see y'all tomorrow. Don't forget, Town Hall with Gary Palmer on Friday at 4 on the show live. Y'all call him and wear him out. I said, as long as you take calls, they're going to wear you out. He said, let them call me. So you get to take a shot at your congressman. Come on. And Job on Jam, May 15th. Get your tickets at IronCityBM.com.
Super excited
We
about
pumped.
that.
Brother Kane, Stone Horses, and Cattle all in one show. What? And all of us hanging around. See you tomorrow.
All right, Breaking Mary coming up next. Goodbye, AJ.